We say we want to be happy. We plan for it. We wait for it. We chase it through goals, dreams, and distant some days. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I get that job, when I move to that city, when I finally become the person I imagine. But what if that endless chase is exactly what keeps happiness out of reach? Listen closely to this story. It holds a quiet lesson. Joy is not hiding in the future. It's woven into the way we live today. In a small riverside town, there lived a young musician named Arin. Arin was not famous. He did not own much. He slept in a tiny room above a bakery with a cracked window that let in cold air in the winter and fireflies in the summer. Every morning, he carried his old violin down to the town square. Children ran past him, chasing each other. Merchants shouted their prices. The baker below his room handed him a warm piece of bread and said, "Play something bright today, Arin. People need it." Arin would close his eyes and play. His music was simple, but it made people stop. An old woman would sit on the same bench every day to listen. A group of boys would tap their feet and turn his melodies into clumsy dances. His little sister, Lena, would sneak away from home just to sit on the fountain and watch him with shining eyes. In the evenings, he returned to a small house by the river, where his mother waited with a bowl of soup and gentle questions. How was the square today? Did anyone sing along? Did you have enough to eat? Life was not perfect. Money was always tight. Sometimes the cold crept into his bones. Sometimes his fingers ached from playing too long. But there was laughter at the dinner table. There were stories shared under the dim light of a single candle. There was the steady rhythm of the river outside, whispering through the night. Arin had more than he realized. He just didn't see it. One autumn day, a group of travelers arrived in town. They wore fine clothes, carried shiny instruments, and spoke of a faraway capital city. That night, Arin went to the inn to hear them perform. The hall was crowded. The travelers played music grand and loud. People cheered and clapped until their hands turned red. After the show, Arin heard them talking. "In the capital," one of them said, "there is the grand hall of echoes. Thousands of people fill the seats. When they applaud you, you feel it in your bones. When they shout your name, you know you've made it. After that, you never have to doubt yourself again. That's where real happiness lives." Those words slid into Arin's heart like a hook. Real happiness? In the grand hall of echoes? In the distant capital? He walked home under the stars, but he did not see them. He heard Lena calling his name, but he barely answered. All night he lay awake, imagining a stage so big his little town would disappear inside it. The next morning, the square felt small, too small. The smiling old woman on the bench, the dancing boys, the baker handing him bread, it all felt ordinary, not enough. I'm meant for more, Arin thought. I'll be happy when I get there, when I stand in that hall, when strangers shout my name, then my life will truly begin. From that day on, everything changed. He still went to the square, but his heart wasn't there anymore. He played, but only as practice. He looked past the people in front of him as if they were just stepping stones to somewhere better. He stopped staying for dinner with his family. "Just one more hour of practice," he would tell his mother. "When I get to the capital, it'll all be worth it." Lena would hold up drawings she made of him playing music, but he would say, "Later, Lena, I don't have time now." Weeks passed. Arin played until his fingers bled. He stopped laughing with the baker. He stopped telling stories with the other musicians by the river. He ate in a hurry. He slept in a hurry. He lived in a hurry. One evening, the travelers returned to town. One of them remembered Arin's music and agreed to listen. Arin played with all his strength. The traveler nodded slowly. "You have talent," he said. "Come with us to the capital. We can get you an audition in the Grand Hall of Echoes, but we leave at dawn. Decide quickly." Arin's heart pounded. That night, his mother set the table with an extra care. Lena sat close to him, leaning her head on his shoulder. "Arin," his mother said softly. "You've been so far away lately. Even when you sit with us, your mind is somewhere else. Are you all right?" He looked at his family, at the familiar walls, at the flickering candle. Part of him wanted to stay, to play for Lena in the square, to grow old listening to the river outside their home. But the other part whispered, "If you don't go now, you'll never be truly happy. This is your chance." He stood up. "I have to go," he said. "Just for a while. Once I make it, I'll send for you. We'll live in a big house. We'll have everything we ever wanted. You'll see. We'll all be happy then." His mother's eyes filled with tears, but she nodded. Lena clung to his hand. "Don't be gone too long," she whispered. At dawn, without looking back for too long, Arin left with the travelers. The road to the capital was long. They walked through rain and dust. They crossed rivers on shaky bridges. They slept on hard ground under cold skies. Arin's body was exhausted, but his mind kept saying, "It will be worth it. When you stand in that hall, when they applaud you, all of this will be worth it." At last, they reached the capital. The grand hall of echoes rose like a mountain of stone and glass. Its doors were higher than any building Arin had ever seen. Its windows shone with reflections of the setting sun. His audition came. He stood alone on the giant stage, lights blinding his eyes. He played. He poured every memory, every lonely night of practice, every goodbye into his music. When he finished, there was a heavy silence, and then a wave of sound. Applause. Loud, tremulous, echoing applause. The judges nodded. They offered him a place among the performers of the grand hall. Strangers called his name. For a brief moment, Arin felt something like flight. "This is it," he thought. "I've found it. This is happiness." But that night, lying alone in his new small room behind the hall, the cheers faded in his memory. The silence felt loud. His chest felt strangely empty. That was good, he told himself, but I need more. A bigger audience, a louder cheer, then I'll really be happy. So he chased it. Concert after concert, city after city, more people, more lights, more noise. Every time the applause rose, his heart leapt. Every time it ended, he felt hollow again. He was always watching the next date on the calendar, the next performance, the next goal. Happiness was never where he was. It was always somewhere ahead. Years slipped past. One evening, after a performance, Arin walked alone through a quiet street. The crowds had gone home. The lights of the city trembled on the surface of a dark canal. From an open window above, a simple melody drifted down. A child was playing a cheap, out-of-tune violin. The song was clumsy, but familiar. It was one of the first tunes Arin had ever learned, the one he used to play in the square, the one Lena would hum as she spun in circles by the fountain. Memories crashed over him like a wave. The old woman on the bench, the boys dancing badly, the baker handing him bread with flour on his hands, his mother's tired smile at the end of the day, Lena's small fingers tracing the shape of his violin. He realized something that made his knees weak. Those days were not practice for some future life. They were life, real, full, precious life. And he had rushed through them, eyes fixed on a distant dream, calling his real happiness later. His chest tightened. He bought a ticket and boarded the first carriage heading back to his hometown. The journey felt longer this time. His hair was touched with gray now. His hands were rough and worn. When he finally stepped off at the familiar road by the river, his heart pounded. The town had changed. The square was still there, but the fountain was newer. The old woman's bench was empty. New faces moved through the market. The bakery's sign was different. The smell of bread was there, but the man behind the counter was younger, a stranger. Arin walked almost running to the small house by the river. The door was open. An older woman stood inside, sorting fruit. It was his mother. Her hair was white now. Her back was more bent, but her eyes were the same.
"Mother," he whispered. She turned, and a flood of years washed between them in a single heartbeat. They held each other for a long time, saying nothing. When they finally sat down, Arin's voice shook. "I thought I had to go far away to find happiness. I thought it was waiting in applause, in big halls, in the future. I kept telling myself, I'll be happy when I get there, and I never noticed that I was stepping over the moments that actually mattered." He looked around the small room, at the crooked shelf, at the worn table, at the window where the river still whispered. "How long did I waste?" he asked quietly. His mother took his hand. "We all waste some time," she said. "The question is what you do when you finally see it." Later, Arin went to the square.
Children he didn't know were playing by the fountain. No one recognized him as the famous musician from the capital. To them, he was just a man with a violin. He stood in the same old place and began to play. The melody was simple, the kind that makes you stop and breathe, the kind that gently reminds you you're alive. A tired merchant paused to listen. A young mother swayed with her baby. A boy tried to copy the tune by whistling. For the first time in many years, Arin's mind was not in the next city, the next concert, the next achievement. He was here, with these people, on this day, in this breath. And in that ordinary, unremarkable moment, he felt something he had been chasing for so long. Enough. Not excitement, not perfection, not endless applause, just a quiet, deep feeling that this moment, exactly as it was worthy. My friend, Arin's story carries a truth many of us ignore. When we keep telling ourselves, "I'll be happy when," we turn our whole life into a waiting room. We wait to feel good until we change jobs. We wait to enjoy ourselves until we make more money. We wait to show love until we feel more secure. We wait and wait and wait, while the only time we truly have slips past. Happiness is not hiding in some distant hall, job, city, or version of you. It does not live in tomorrow. It appears in the way you drink your morning coffee, in the way you listen when someone talks to you, in the way you notice the sky for a moment before you look back at your phone, in the laughter you share, the meals you eat, the ordinary walks you take. Arin thought joy lived in applause, but it was in his sister's smile, in his mother's questions, in the simple songs he played in the square. He only saw it when years had gone by. Don't wait that long. Look around your life as it is right now. Who have you been rushing past? What small moments have you been calling unimportant while chasing something bigger? Your life is not on hold. This is it. This is your stage, your song, your story. Use this moment. Be here for it. Let yourself feel grateful, even if everything isn't perfect. If this story touched something in you, take a second to reflect. What is one "I'll be happy when" that you're ready to let go of today? Share your answer with others. Start a conversation. And if you'd like to hear more stories like this, stay with this channel so we can keep walking through these lessons together. Until the next story, remember, happiness is not somewhere you arrive. It's the way you travel through the day you already have.